HooHooHooRobin.
I want to apologize to all the O&A fans. We will not be outside the Tool Show because we no longer have a van. Why? Every other radio station in America has a station van.
Oh, come on. It's the most common vehicle in the country, the station van.
You've probably seen the station van in your fine city, whether it's a Hummer or a brand new van.
Yeah. RV sometimes.
RVs sometimes.
Sure. Very important for a station to have the station van. That way you get out to the event. It shows the station is active out there.
I like the station dune buggy.
Do you like the dune buggy?
You see those every once in a while.
How about that?
With the call letters of the station on the side.
Yeah.
Or the Hummers. Well,
the Hummer's very cool, yes.
We have nothing. No one thinks it's important to do if you do a radio show to have a van.
Well, we had the WOW van. What happened to the WOW van?
WOW van, nice paint job on the side. Said,
sure.
Wow, Opie and Anthony. We were pretty damn impressed.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the van stunk. They made it look like it was a brand new van, but the van was shot.
They painted up a big piece of crap is what happened, right?
Basically, you don't honk your car if you... Oh, I blew the joke. You don't honk the horn if you drive a crappy car. So
you can't polish crap.
Yeah.
Did you say you don't honk your car?
I know.
You don't car the honk
You don't car honk your honker. Anyway, we do not have a van anymore. So management doesn't think it's important for us to go hang out at the Tool Show. And
what was the final thing?
Shake some hands and hand out some WOW bumper stickers. You know.
What was the final thing that happened?
What do you mean the final thing? What about the time the van...
The wheel fell off.
Yeah,
Stinky and Pete Johnson.
Yeah, the van was driving back from a WOW sticker stop, and the wheel falls off.
I don't know what happened. The wheel fell off.
We got a good year out of the van after the wheel fell off.
Hi, it's Pete Johnson. The wheel fell off.
Who was with Pete when the wheel fell off?
Stinky,
brand new employee.
That's right. He was only here a couple weeks, right?
Yeah, we're like, wow, we're trying to kill the new intern.
And the wheel comes flying off the van. No joke. Get Stinky.
I was sitting in the passenger seat, and I saw the wheel pass us.
And then we went through a period where every time we wanted to go to an appearance, we had to charge the battery.
Yeah, the battery would always die.
We had to get a jump. We had to ask other people in the garage downstairs for a jump so we could get the van started so we could show off in the city that we're like the coolest radio show.
Oh, sure.
We're pathetic. And no one cares. Opie and Anthony doing well. That's all that matters. We don't need to support them with vans and stuff.
What's the last thing that broke?
I guess, I don't know. Earl said that there was a really strange sound on Saturday. It just started, sounding really weird, and
Here's
it
Stinky.
just stopped. Here it is.
Stinky. You probably weren't even listening. We're talking about the time you were in the van with Pete Johnson and the wheel fell off.
Oh, God. That was nuts.
Harrowing.
Turning a corner, and all of a sudden, boom! And we see the wheel run down the street in front of us because we were going pretty slow.
That's great.
And Pete Johnson,
So the wheel keeps going straight as the van is turning to the right or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I could fix that with some wire ties.
Someone saw the van in Hoboken last night. What's up with that? Alan.
Yeah, guys. Yeah, I was not last night. They had a big festival in Hoboken on Washington Street.
Yeah.
And WNEW wasn't actually on Washington Street. They were on kind of like one of the side streets. So as you walk down the street, I'm looking. They got all these things. They got foosball tables. They got all kinds of stuff. And I'm looking, and there, kind of parked at the end there, was the WOW van with nobody around it and nothing else going on.
Alan, all right, I have a confession to make. We have finally given up on this as well, but for a while, just to look cool, we were having the WOW van towed to locations. Because you being a listener, like you show up at a car dealership or a concert, and you walk up, let's say the garden or something, you're like, wow, Opie and Anthony here, look, the WOW van.
There's the van.
See, we tow it there hours beforehand, before you guys could, show up, and it looks like we drove. And then
So what did you do? Just like take it off of the blocks when I got there or something?
Well, we wait for all you guys to leave, and then when it's dark and no one's around, then we tow it back to the station. That's how pathetic we are.
Oh man.
So, all right, thanks, bro. What was the last straw on the van, Earl?
Well, we drove it to a charity softball game Saturday in Edison.
Yeah.
Every time you go over 55 miles an hour, the van just starts to vibrate violently. It just starts shaking back and forth and makes all these weird noises. The radio doesn't work. It's gone.
Dude, I said 3 years ago we should get a new van because someone's going to die in that thing.
All right, why aren't we getting a new vehicle?
Because Anthony, management around here, I mean, Ken has helped us out a lot, but it's like, Opie and Anthony got great ratings. That's all that matters. They don't understand you need You need a support.
We don't want a van, though. We want a new vehicle, but I haven't quite put my finger on what we need yet.
We got to do what Puffy did at the VMAs.
What?
One of those freaking semis, man.
Say what?
With WOW on the side?
A tractor
Come
trailer.
on.
Tractor trailer.
It's not practical, but damn.
Where the hell are
Have
they
that
going to
parked
park
in front of Madison Square Garden for the Tool Show? People would be like, holy S, these guys are serious. Right? I don't know where you would put stuff to give out.
Yeah.
We don't have anything to give out anyway. Someone's just bitching on the instant feedback. You guys don't ever give away anything.
Maybe that little thing behind you, Anthony, they could put a little WOW sticker on that.
Yeah, on the Razor rollerboard scooter.
Well, we could do that.
We'll just have those as vehicles.
Anyway, have fun at the Tool Show. Of course, we won't go down. And, of course, we still don't even have a marketing director, so we can't even get, clever with our appearances and maybe just have, the road crew go down there with knapsacks to hand out WOW stickers. That would be too smart.
The old one.
For anyone to figure out on their own. So I'm assuming no one will be at the Tool Show tonight, so enjoy yourself. Oh, it's amazing. Anyway,
yeah,
this could seg into how pathetic this radio station was before we got here.
And it's actually better than it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Richard Neer. Richard Neer wrote a book, FM, The Rise and Fall of Rock Radio, it's called. And this station that we broadcast from in New York, WNEW, is featured prominently in this book. He worked here for, how long? 28 years?
Almost 30 years?
Yeah, because part of the dig that Gary gave him is, hey, 28 doesn't have the ring of 30, does it?
So he was here for 30 Rocktobers.
28 Rocktobers.
Who else could say they were at one station for 30 Rocktobers?
Does a station in your city say Rocktober?
Do you mean they play a lot of rock music in October?
I don't know what it is. They just call it Rocktober.
Oh.
We're going to have our Rocktober Fest.
Anthony, we're on so many stations across America. I would bet money right
One
now.
of the stations we're on.
And, the listeners from the other cities have to help us out now. Are we broadcasting on a Rocktober station?
Rocktober station that has Rocktober Fest. Happy Rocktober 1st.
We're rocking in Rocktober.
There you go.
Plenty of blocks from all your favorite artists.
Rocktober.
Anyway, go ahead.
So there's some info on this station and how this guy Richard Neer met the program director that we had when we got hired here, because he's the one that hired us. Gary Wall, the program director that used to be here during the ass end of this station being a music station, was the guy that fired Richard Neer. So he wrote a book. And now, he fired everybody. This station, it was one of those legendary rock stations. Like a lot of cities have them. You can remember the station being around from the 60s, the 70s.
This was it, though, this place.
Yeah.
Scott Muni himself was on the tarmac when the Beatles landed.
Right.
Doesn't get much better than that.
Handler.
Right.
Yeah, I remember taking Ringo's bag.
Wilson from Brooklyn, 1.7. Go ahead. Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
No, he was asking. I just had to answer.
How many miles from World Trade Center? 1.7 we're down to?
Yeah.
Great.
Just following the myth.
All right, we got...
All right, so we're going to read excerpts from the book about our old boss that hired us here in New York.
Yeah.
The guy had a vision. We were going nowhere in Boston, working for a guy named Dave Dickless that had no clue, no vision. A lot of program directors in this business have no vision whatsoever. Anthony.
Yeah.
And Gary Wall, he had some type of vision. That was to hire us.
Here's what he was up against. He is at a station that is floundering in the ratings. Just going down the crapper. It had been consistently going down year after year for many years, this station. So here is the Das Wunderboy, Das Wunderkind, Gary Wall, that is going to fix this station once and for all and bring it back to the greatness that it once had. Back. And so I guess the way he got the job was to sit down and tell them what he had told everybody, what he had told us when he interviewed us for the job here. Guys, I got a plan.
Yeah, the plan.
We're like, a plan? Great. Okay, we like this. A guy with a vision and a plan, and we'll come aboard. We'll be part of this plan. Gary, what's the plan? You don't worry about that. You don't worry about that. I got it all right up here.
You got to tell people, too, in Afternoon Drive, the show we were going to take over was in last place, like 28th place.
Oh, yeah.
Like stations that don't even broadcast in English were beating this station in this time slot.
An abomination. And what they did was they gave this guy, Gary, pretty much free reign to fix this station because it had been in such disrepair for so many years that he was the guy that they said, all right, whatever you got to do. Because a lot of the guys that came in before him really had their hands tied. There were jocks that sat in these seats with contracts that were so old and they were making so much money and they could not get them out of these deals. The only reason they were here, not because they were doing well, not because they were getting ratings, because they had contracts. That's it. So finally they bring in Gary. He sold them some great line to get him the job here, and he now was going to fix this goddamn station, whatever it took.
The average age of the full-time staff when we arrived was probably over 60.
Yeah. Oh, it was ridiculous.
Am I exaggerating, Earl? Give or take a few years, it was probably 60. High 50s, easy.
Scotzo brought that way up, that curve. Brought it way up. Yeah, and so Gary was going to come and fix the whole thing. First thing was get rid of the old jocks. Their thing used to be classic rock, classic jocks.
Classic rock, classic
That
rock.
was the classic rock, classic jocks. So I'm going to hear old music played by old people. Great.
That makes me want to tune in.
Nice and competitive there. So Gary has this plan. We later find out there is no plan.
He never had a plan.
There's no plan. He never had a plan. The only thing he knew was that he was going to fire people. Who he was replacing them with, he didn't have a clue, except for us. What he was going to do formatically, what kind of music the station was playing, he didn't have a clue. Brought up a great point. What music were we playing here?
We were playing every record that every other station didn't want to play.
Didn't want to play.
No joke.
Like, how many times did we spin Kenny Wayne Shepherd?
Woo! When we were trying to be cool, we'd play the Third Eye Blind song that no one else wanted.
Right. We were playing everything because, again, a lot of the stations in New York that are owned by the company, the same company we're owned by, didn't want us competing with them. So if we got a little too close to what...
Are you talking about Steve Queenston?
Steve Queenston over at K-Rock. Steve Queenston. Yeah. If we got a little too...
what? Earl had a long weekend. I got to think about a lot lot of good things.
If we started playing a little too much new music, he'd get pissed.
Queenston, right?
Queenston.
Right.
And then the classic rock, we couldn't play that because it wasn't working in the first place. That's what this station was.
I found out he didn't like being called the Abercrombie and Fitch midget, so okay, let's try
Steve Queenston.
Let's try Steve Queenston for a while.
That's funny. So Gary flushes the bowl, gets rid of all these classic jocks, and starts replacing them one by one.
That was the problem, my friends.
So Opie and Anthony, they didn't want to know us. The jocks around here did not want to know Opie and Anthony. They hated us.
Well, we definitely represented change.
They knew that if we were coming in, they were going out.
They were completely done.
Right. But they couldn't wash everyone out at once. Scotzo stayed here for quite some time after we came aboard. Carol Miller was here. She's a classic jock from the 70s and 80s, I guess.
Mr. Herman.
Dave Herman, another one. He did the morning show here. Pat St. John, another legendary jock here in New York. But it was time to go. It was time for them to go because Gary Wall
10
had
years
a plan.
before it happened, it was time to go.
Right.
That's what these guys don't understand.
Gary had this plan.
They got 10 more years than they should have.
Gary had this plan, which was no plan, but it consisted of getting rid of all these people. He brought in people to replace these people with that had no business being in radio. Remember?
Joe Taggart.
Joe Taggart.
He hired... So you fire a rock... one of these legendary rock jocks, okay, that sat in these very seats, Anthony.
Yes.
For over 20 years, and you replace him with a bartender from Long Island.
Right. A bartender from Long Island. You replace him with that.
That was my first sign. I'm like,
to spin the same songs that the classic jocks were spinning.
And they had the knowledge, at least.
Right. You shouldn't have gotten rid of them until you had a plan and people there to take their position, and
then they
change the station.
Then they brought the chick in from, like, the woods of New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Who was supposed to set the New York on fire, and she ended up, like, playing solitaire while the music was playing.
Yeah, Lisa.
Garvey.
Yeah.
Lisa Garvey?
Lisa Garvey.
Who is a very nice lady, by the way.
Hey, whatever. But when you're a PD and you're given free reign to do something with a station and you know it has to be changed, you flush the toilet. And then you have a huge line where here was old, here is new, we start now. No, it was this mishmash gray area where it changed over from the old NEW to the new one. So the whole deal with the plan, though, Gary's plan, that never had a plan, Richard Neer hits on this as he talks about it.
God, that could have been the longest setup in radio history, Anthony.
Well, I just wanted everybody to get a little gist of Gary and what everybody thought of him, because it wasn't just us.
If you were doing a radio show by yourself and, you didn't have a name for yourself, in those air check sessions, you would have gotten pounded.
I'd have gotten pounded on that one?
Okay, Anthony, get right to the point next time.
Make it quick. Do your setups quick and get back to the music.
Less words would be appreciated. If you can't set it up in 30 seconds, then you know what? You probably shouldn't talk about it on the air. Besides, it's Rocktober 1st. We have plenty of blocks to play.
Rocktober. Do we get any?
Yeah, the Big Wazoo.
The Big Wazoo's doing Rocktober?
Colleen.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. How are you?
Pretty good. So you're listening to us on the Big Wazoo in Columbus?
The Big Wazoo in Columbus, yes.
And
doing Rocktober. You'd think they could do something better by now.
All right, and Colleen, what are the jocks doing? Are they real serious about it and all excited? Like, hey, everybody, it's Rocktober. Look how witty I am, putting the word rock in the middle of October. Rocktober.
We're going to do Rocksember and Rockuary.
There you go.
Make sure you mail the station with a self-addressed stamped envelope so we can send out a Rocktober calendar with all the special rock events we have planned for you this month. Awful.
Hey, I just wanted to say I love you guys. I'm absolutely addicted to you.
Well, thank you. Could you tell someone in Columbus, because we could use the help, all right?
All right, take care.
All right, thanks, Colleen.
Victor checking in. I like how the building moves 1/10 of a mile per day, but doesn't move on the weekend.
Because that's part of but that's because I'm following the man.
All right.
He said every time you're on the air. I have to explain the math again. It doesn't move on the weekend. All right. Go ahead, Anthony.
Here's
by the way, 97 Rock in Buffalo doing Rocktober.
Doing Rocktober? You gotta love Rocktober.
Awful station.
Here's some excerpts.
The most unfunny man in morning radio history, who has the same last name as you, Mr. Norton.
Really?
Snorton Norton.
Oh, my God.
God awful.
Do they call him that?
Oh, yeah.
No, they don't.
Oh, yeah.
No, they don't.
Ugh.
He's an icon in Buffalo. I don't know. I think the people in Buffalo have to, get the wax out of their ears and really listen to what he does on his show.
Mullet and a bad hairdo.
Horrible. Horrible.
Yuck.
Anyway, go ahead, Anthony.
All right. Here's some excerpts from
Brother Weezy's chuckling right now in Rochester. That was for you, bro. Go ahead, Ant.
Richard Neer's book.
The abuse is flying today.
He brings up Scott Herman,
we have
who was
friends left in radio.
The general manager of this station. They gave him the job. He was the general manager of the news station upstairs, and they decided to give him this piece of crap at the time and try to fix it. He spent all his time upstairs with the news station that was very successful and still is, and gave no attention to the bastard stepchild, which was this station, being run into the ground by Gary Wall.
You know, Richard Neer never got along with us, this guy.
Yeah, I know.
This book, but, he makes some... You got to give him props. This stuff is... some of the stuff that we're about to read is accurate and very inside and very funny.
This was... I'll even set it up longer, Opie. No, this is when me and Opie would drive home together out to Long Island. We'd talk about the show and whatever when we first got here. There was one day we were driving home that finally one of us opened our mouth and said,
I did.
You said, hey, what do you think of Gary Wall? I was like, and he said, what's with this plan? do you think? And I turned and said, there is no plan, right? He goes, that's exactly what I said. And we went back and forth going, there's no plan. Oh, my God. The captain doesn't know how to work the tiller. We don't know where we're going.
Well, when we were interviewed, don't forget the plan was in that book. But
He had a book.
But he wouldn't allow us to see the book.
We couldn't open the book. It was a big black binder book.
He goes, I got the plan
pages
right
that
here.
was probably empty.
Right here.
So we finally went, my God, there's no
But we go,
plan.
can we see the plan? He go, no. Not until you sign that contract.
Oh, no.
Jimmy Kimmel's never going to come on our show now.
Well, he's good friends with Gary. Anyway,
how many people are we going to trash in this break?
We're driving home, and that's when we realized there was no plan, and that was a very huge turning point for this program, because that's when we decided we were not listening to anybody anymore. Right. Here at this station. We would not even listen to what Gary said.
Kind of like when we decided not to listen to Dave Dickless up in Boston.
Was that the day he was hired?
Yeah.
Yes, I do believe that was the day we decided not to. But yeah, Gary, we decided not to listen to him, and thank God, because we're still here.
I hope someone's keeping track of all the people we're trashing in radio on this break. It'd be fun to take a look at on the instant feedback.
Here's what Richard Neer says about Gary Wall. Okay. I consider this man to be the most enigmatic program director that I've ever worked for. For most of his 21-month reign, he was here for 21 months. The staff tried to figure out what he wanted for the station. We couldn't. And the conclusion we were led to was that he couldn't either. There were two alternatives. Here it is. One, he had no knowledge or appreciation for the heritage of the radio station and planned all along to become an extreme FM talk station. I could definitely say no, that isn't the case. He didn't know where the hell this station was going when we got here. There wasn't a plan that it was going to become an FM talk station until we started playing less music because we didn't like the music. And we started talking more because, God forbid, we played another one of these crappy songs. Our ratings would have been going even further into the toilet.
We completely lucked out.
We decided we weren't going to play music and we were going to talk.
We've never done a talk show.
No.
Can't you tell out there?
Please.
We've only met this like less than 2 years.
So the only reason this station ever went...
Earl.
The only reason this station ever went talk was because we decided on our own to blow off anything Gary Wall was saying and talk.
Right.
And when it started working, that's when it was decided now the whole station should be a talk station.
And then Andrea would throw the list of tunes.
Yeah. She was
at
the
us
music
every
director.
afternoon and going, I don't even know why I'm printing this up anymore. You're not going to play it. And throw it at us. Like, chill out, man. We got something going now.
Remember when off the cuff one day I said, I want to hear Rob Zombie, Living Dead Girl, I think, or Dragula or something. And you said, sure, threw it on. Andrea lost her mind. Gary Wall lost his mind. They freaked out because we picked one song that we wanted to hear that, would have upsetted Steve Queenston at K-Rock and was against what they wanted.
Yeah, a little insight into radio, like when a DJ goes off the map and plays a song that he's not supposed to, all hell breaks loose at the station.
Yeah.
That's why when you listen to a station, they make believe they're playing a song for you or playing requests. It's not true.
It's all written down.
It's all written down on a computer.
The whole week, they know what they're playing for a whole given week. In every hour, every minute. Don't worry about it.
And that's the only time a DJ gets to, look cool, like, they're getting a song on for you. No, they're not. Your song just happened to be coming up.
Yeah, you record enough people requesting songs.
Ask Matt Devote. Matt Devote used to, tape phone calls.
Yeah.
No. Matt, you're cool, though. You're not on my list, man. Matt would record calls.
That's what you do.
And then when,
when the call corresponds with the song you have to play in that given hour,
Matt Devote,
you then play the
another legendary rock jock in New York, doing great in sales upstairs. He's a sales phenomenon.
This is painful, man.
But isn't it true that you used to, tape calls, and then, a week would go by, and that song would finally come up, and you go, I just happen to have someone requesting that rare Springsteen song.
A lot of times I try to do it live, but if they really asked for a really cool song and you knew you couldn't get it on that day, you'd use it as an excuse to get that song on the next opportunity you could.
Right.
Like some guy calls up for some great Stevie Ray Vaughan or something. I'm holding on to it for a week or whatever.
Until it pops up.
Well, it would never pop up, but you would need a reason to get it in there.
Until Selector decided to pick the Stevie Ray Vaughan song.
Yeah, it's very predetermined.
Go ahead, man.
So, he had it planned on this station becoming an FM talk station. No. He was convinced that he could make his reputation by arising phoenix-like from the ashes of a failed station with this hot new format. No. Any moves he made while it was a rock station were intended for the purpose of immolation. What? So that by the time he switched formats, no one would care. Oh, so what he's saying is he undermined the whole rock thing by being confused and being stupid about his music choices. So it would fail, so he would be able to go into the FM talk thing. No, he's not that calculating. Or two, he came into this job with no agenda, willing to take it wherever the research indicated it should go. Unfortunately, his radio skills were so unformed that he lacked the ability to discover a clear path and the will to follow it. There it is.
Bingo.
That's the Gary Wall we know.
Hold on, I got to back up for a second. Don, what's up?
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Hey, Matt did that to me, but he didn't wait a week. He waited 3 months.
3 months later?
You heard your request 3 months later.
3 months later, man. I'm at work. It's 9 o'clock at night, and he's on doing that all request hour, so I requested it. I heard it on a Saturday, like 3 months later.
You're like, wait, that's me.
I'm like, hey, man, that's me on the radio. Wait a minute, I got no phone here. What's going on? I was freaking out, man. It was
3
cool.
months. It was so long you didn't even remember making the call, I bet. That's classic. Thanks, Don.
Have a good one, man. Keep it up.
Instant request.
Instant request.
Go ahead, Anthony.
And Richard seems to favor the latter alternative, which is the one that he came in with no agenda. He didn't. It seemed that after years of hiring managers who were afraid to tamper with the staff due to personal reverence of their legend, Wall was brought in to inspect the place as an alien from another planet would. Like he's kind of, they hired this guy because he had such a he was not radio. He wouldn't do things as regular radio guy would. Maybe the new ideology here would perk things up when it didn't. Some of the people were perplexed, and there was a lot of infighting going on here. There were jocks that were strictly NEW jocks, and then they didn't like the jocks that came over from other stations.
From PLJ.
So there was infighting between the air staff.
Even though they were working on the same station for 20 years,
Yeah.
they still held the grudge.
Just because of where they came from, which is kind of stupid. We're all for holding grudges against a-holes, but not because of where you came from.
Go ahead.
Wall's, here are two examples that illustrated the problem with Wall. At the first meeting he held with the staff, Wall was asked what the station should be called. Should it be WNEW, WNEW FM, or just NEW? Should the slogan be Where Rock Lives, Classic Rock, Classic Jocks, or New York's Rock Station?
A lot of time is spent on other stations trying to figure out exactly what to call it.
Right. What do we call it?
It doesn't make a goddamn difference.
At various times in our history, we had been known by these things and more. Whatever, he replied. It's not important. Whatever. It's not important.
What if they want to call it like Moose 1027?
Well, whatever.
Get a cute little
The Moose.
Get a cute little mascot.
The Beaver. Something like that.
What if they just started calling it the Beaver?
I don't care. It's not important. Whatever.
1027, the Beaver.
Gary Wall. At that initial meeting, Wall suggested we should all speak to his secretary and schedule a getting-to-know-you meeting with him privately. Good idea. When not in a public setting with peers, some of the staff might open up and give more honest opinions. So I dutifully arranged a meeting. Given my experience with previous PDs, I resolved to be a bit more circumspect with the new guy until I got a read on the lay of the land kind of thing. As I marched into his office, he sat at a small round table devoid of clutter. CNBC's stock quotation silently screaming on the television behind him.
We've talked about this on our show.
We would go into meetings with Gary Wall. We'd sit down, and he was calling these meetings every day at 1 o'clock or every day at noon. We'd have to meet with this guy. We'd sit down. Nothing would get accomplished. Nothing. He would talk about his plan, but not talk about it, and then look and go, oh, my American Express is down too. You know what you got to do, guys? You got to diversify your portfolio and add in these tech stocks slowly. And then all of a sudden we look and go, well, now it's 2 o'clock. There's our hour meeting. All right, Gary. All right, great. Hey, feeling good. Feeling pumped. Ready to go. Ready to go get him. All right, Gary. And we'd walk out of there going, nothing was said. Nothing was said. We have problems with promotions. We have problems. Nothing. Even though I knew his office with the round table and stuff instead of the big desk was corporate window dressing, he kind of liked the fact that he sat at a round table and not at a desk. Approaching things with an open mind, I sat down and met Wall's blank gaze.
Dead on.
So, he started, what can I do for you?
This is dead on, man.
The gaze was the best. He would look at you sometimes, and it would seem like an eternity passed, even though it was just a couple of seconds, because he wouldn't say anything. You'd be like, hey, Gary, what's up? And he'd look at you like, just stare. Hey, how you doing?
He would look right through you.
Yeah. So?
Oh, my God, he's looking right through me at the wall behind me.
So, he started, what can I do for you? And Richard goes, you suggested this meeting. I said, you wanted to get to know us. Here I am. Do you want to know about my history here, for starters? No, not really. Why is that relevant? The guy worked here for 28 years. He saw, like, the ups and downs of this station, saw what worked, saw what didn't. But Gary didn't want to hear any of that. He answered coldly. Well, why is it relevant? He wasn't making this easy. I perhaps foolishly thought that as a senior staff member next to Muni in terms of years at the station, my counsel might be of some value. Well, I just thought that since I've been here 28 years that, and then he's cut off by Gary, 28 doesn't have the same ring as 30, does it? That's Gary's, like, wacky mind just spinning.
This is very accurate.
I guess not. Rich is I tried not to react to what seemed to be a deliberate insult. Maybe he was just trying to be funny. At any rate, he says, I've done mornings, I've been PD. Again, he gets cut off. Well, gee, everyone's been PD here at one time or another, even the janitor, from what I hear. If he wanted to imply that my opinions were as valued as the janitor's, he's gotten his message across. This was an odd way of getting to know a valued employee. Strange, but I was getting another message entirely. Okay, boss, I just clean up here. What do you want me to do? Kind of thing. Properly humbled, I continued. All right, Gary, I'm just here to find out what you want us to do. What's the plan? Here's Gary's answer. No plan. What do you want to do? I've done every kind of radio there is, from classical to talk. I'm just trying to gather the approach you're looking for. High energy, lots of talk. Tight with no talk. What do you want? Gary goes, whatever you're comfortable with. It's up to you. I'll be listening and evaluating everyone here from ground zero over the next month. Do whatever you like. I laughed, perhaps a bit nervously. Can you tell me what criteria you'll be judging us by? Whatever. If I like what I hear, you'll be here. If I don't, you won't. Simple as that. I'll try one more time in English. Well, what do you like? What are you looking for? Nothing. I'll know it when I hear it. One more attempt at adulation to keeping my job. Whatever role you see me in, I'm willing to discuss. I'm not here to make waves or challenge you. I just want to execute your ideas the way you want me to and help the station win. Good. That's what he says. Good, he says this casually and dismissively, as if I've just offered him coffee with cream or without. No acknowledgement that I was pledging unconditional loyalty to the call letters. He just totally blew him off.
Right.
So that was what the air staff was dealing with. A guy who had no vision, no plan, and we were all on this ship and realized, oh my God, the captain doesn't know where we're going and doesn't even know how to steer it if he did have some kind of a plan.
I knew there was a key.
And we're surrounded by rocks. Yeah. Let's see.
We should take a break, Ant.
Oh, okay, and then we'll get into the part where we came aboard.
Yeah, we could do a little of that.
And Beer Thursdays.
Oh, we could do Free Beer Thursday, talk about that, and...
Hello.
And Roger, the Pop-Tart marketing guy. The guy that was supposed to get us, what, 3 what?
Guys, this guy can come in and get 3 Mercedes in 5 minutes. I guarantee it. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's what we heard.
That was the promise.
What did we get? A giant Pop-Tart?
Nothing.
A lot of stolen prizes.
We got nothing. I don't know. I hope. You think this is interesting to people out there?
Yeah, you never know. I think so.
Let us know if you think it's interesting, okay? Oh, by the way, as we continue down this road, the top 9 at 9, that like our old station in Boston does at AF.
Yeah.
Complete sham.
Oh, yeah. Please.
The jock is handed the top 9 songs, and then, like, you call up and say, hey, I want to hear, I don't know, Smooth Criminal. And guess what? Hey, that's the most requested song. It's fake. They invite their listeners to call up so they can get the top 9 requests, Jim. You see.
I've never had a request.
But see, the list is given to the jock every night.
Have you ever requested?
And you already know which is number 9 and which is number 1.
You know who played my request? Eddie Trunk. The only guy that's ever played my request is Eddie Trunk.
He's got free reign to do that.
Yeah, Eddie can play what he wants.
That's the God's honest truth.
He's like the only guy that can play what he wants.
Yeah, a guy that does a really good metal show on the weekends here in New York. He's allowed to play whatever he wants. That's the truth.
Yeah.
And not many jocks can do that these days in radio. All those top 9 and 9, all that crap is so fake it's not even funny.
They're the worst.
Awful. They're just tricking their listeners with more fake radio, making believe you actually have an influence on what the top 9 songs are.
Hey, can I hear a little Sabbath? We'll see if we can get to it.
Yeah.
Worms.
All right, Ant, let's take a break, and maybe we'll continue with this. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll save it for another day.
All right.
And we're back with the O&A show. Opie and Anthony. All right, it's a go, I guess.
Sure.
People want more from our old boss.
Well, it's also because it's in a book now. This is the stuff, we've ragged on this for during the course of the 3.5 years or so that we've been here in New York. But now it's in a book. I love it. Immortalized forever.
Want to give a quick, Anthony, quick.
Yes.
Little, setup here.
Yeah. Richard Neer used to be a jock here at WNEW here in New York. And he wrote a book, FM. It's about radio, about WNEW and radio in New York and everywhere. And he was fired by our old boss, the one that hired us, Gary Wall. And he wrote about his experiences with dealing with Gary. And it kind of reminded us, again, of some of the experiences we've had with Gary. Who was just, he was lost here. Everyone butted heads with this guy. We kind of had it a little easy because he never yelled at us. He would always kiss our ass because we were the only thing that he had invested.
The only hope he had.
The only hope at this station. Everyone else, he would turn around and just curse at and badmouth. Ben used to get the brunt of his wrath a lot. What was some of the times he blew up at you?
Oh, over nothing. I mean, he once told me, do you have an effing brain? Then
Do you have an effing brain? Then use it.
In a meeting with like 6 other people. I mean, Lisa from sales.
Yeah, he was good with embarrassing people in front of other people.
He was good at making girls cry, too.
Yeah, then I went in the bathroom one time, go to the bathroom, and he's in there, started yelling at me in the bathroom. And another time, he completely, in a meeting, contradicted himself from 2 days before, so I corrected him. Big mistake with the mental case Gary. Get screamed at. Here I was, like a 22-year-old kid, a mental patient who needed to take his Valium. Hadn't taken it for the day.
So Gary didn't know what he was doing, and then they started firing all the classic jocks that were here. Legendary jocks.
They fired everyone. We've seen about 100 people come and go at this place since we've been here.
Remember Pete Fornatal? Pete Fornatal. He was bumped to from middays to late nights. So it's a time period he'd never done in his 30 years of professional radio. When he didn't quit at the change, he was fired and replaced by someone from a small market in New Hampshire. That was Lisa Garvey.
I gotta be honest, I like this guy.
You think you would?
He yells at people, he makes chicks cry, and he fires the elderly.
Dennis Elsis was dismissed and replaced by another unknown in the market. And Gary Wall called my brother, Richard Neer's brother, while he was on summer vacation and told him that he needn't hurry back. He was being replaced. He says we were being picked off one at a time.
That's a cowardly move, by the way.
Yeah.
I hate when people get fired over the phone.
Yeah.
If you're going to fire someone, have the balls to do it in person.
So then we come into play here. It says Scott Muni, Scotzo, legendary jock. He's over at the Q, classic rock station here in New York now. Does his hour show. Doing great. Scott Muni and Dave Herman were fired on November 13th, 98. The afternoon shock jocks that Wall had hired made fun of them both as dinosaurs who should have been extinct 20 years before. Not true.
Yeah, we made some.
Oh, yeah, but it wasn't. He's making it sound like that's all we said about these guys. And he forgets to mention some of the abuse that was doled out by, not Scott, but some of the abuse that was doled out by the classic jocks who hated us just for coming into this station.
Yeah, we had a fight.
So where's that?
We had legendary fights on the air, matter of fact.
Where's that?
Rick is finding one as we speak.
Oh, and this was before we said anything. We didn't just get on the air and start bad-mouthing the jocks that were here.
Matter of fact, we had a good relationship with Mr. Muni.
Yeah. They reveled in sleaze as Dave's ex-wife joined them on the air to humiliate him with disparaging remarks about his sexual prowess. The ratings had slid back down to the region 1.1 region, with the new morning show at an embarrassing 0.4. Mason and Kalinsky. No one knew what they were supposed to be doing. We knew. We knew what we were supposed to be doing. And we finally stopped listening to management and did it. And knock wood, and looking back, we ended up doing well. He talks about his last show when he knew he was out the door and was able to play the music he wanted to play.
Cool, man.
So it was invigorating and frightening.
I'm going out as a rebel. I'm going to play what I want.
Going out on top. I listened to my final record, Springsteen's Racing in the Streets. I closed with a brief farewell and uttered the first and last time, WNEW FM, where rock lived.
Wait a minute. He replaced the S with a D?
Yeah, that's his parting shot.
There you go.
Because they used Where Rock Lives. But now, because it was his last show and he knew changes were coming, Where Rock Lived.
Oh, my God.
Mercifully, the day after I signed off, September 13th, 1999, the station became FM Talk at 102.7. Not even acknowledging its legendary call letters. Now, why mercifully the day after he signed off? I don't know. I don't get that, but...
Made his statement accurate.
And then he says that Gary Wall was fired a few weeks later, ostensibly because he had no control over his afternoon team.
Who would that be, Anthony?
It's in the book. It's got to be true. Fired because he had no control over his afternoon team.
And what did we do this time?
Who had played an immature prank on the White House at a time when CBS was seeking approval of the Viacom merger.
Oopsie! Everyone in Boston right now shaking their heads. Oh, do these guys ever learn? No. We just want to invite Hillary to a Yankee game because she claimed to be, from New York and stuff.
So they say it was also an excuse to end his disastrous regime, and this latest example of his slipshod management gave him a tangible reason. Slipshod management. His out-of-control afternoon team that he hired. We're like the kids that grow up and kill their parents. We're loved at first. Then we'll end up putting a friggin' knife in your chest.
It's the Eric and Dylan show.
Right. He hired us, he raised us, and then we turn around and kill you.
Great. We've had, since being together on the radio, Anthony, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 PDs.
Yeah.
They have finally given up on us and realized they can't say anything to us. We just gotta do our thing.
Jeremy here now is just like our friend.
Yeah.
He's like a friend. We go to lunch with him.
I'd say,
hang out.
Hey, friend.
If he's got ideas about something that he thinks would be good for the show, or if we have good ideas that we think is good for the station or something, it's exchanged in a friendly way.
Right. We'll go, we'll take that under consideration.
Right.
Thank you.
I barely consider Ken Stevens my boss. Tell you the truth. I got the number of the top guy. The big dog. I like Ken because he pays for every lunch we go out to.
He's a man, though, that has a backbone.
I know.
That is willing to put his job on the line for his boys.
Absolutely.
Do you hear that, Dave Dickless? A guy that marched right down the street with us to see Mel on the top floor.
During the We Are So Sure We're Getting Fired walk.
That's right.
Back in January, I think it was.
He didn't have to come with us.
No.
He sat right there.
I'm sure after the meeting he wishes he didn't come with us because he took some of the heat from that too.
And if we got fired that day, I was convinced that Ken would have stood up and said, well, if you're firing them, I have to leave too.
Oh, right.
There's no doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind.
Slow down.
Ken would have left with us that day. No doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
Because that's what a boss does. He sticks up for his people.
Stands by.
Dave Dickless.
So that's how that ends in the book. I'm glad he acknowledged the whole Gary Wall thing in that book, because the stuff we've seen here, I mean, this is a guy who, it's stated in the book, and we've said it before, was supposed to come in here and change this station, bring it back to former glory in one way or another. And it went down the tubes. We needed promotions. Now, every station has a promotion staff. It's a staff of people. They look at each individual show, see what's best or right for them as far as going out, as far as giveaways, just a way to promote the shows. Promotion. And
there's motion in promotion.
Motion in promotion. You must have promotion. So Gary comes to us one day and goes, "Hey, I got the guy. This is the best." So we're thinking, Ope's been in radio for quite some time. He knows a lot of promotions people. So I'm sure he's going through the Rolodex of great promotion people in your head.
I'm thinking,
waiting for one of these names to spit out.
Look, I'll get real inside right now. I'm thinking Heidi Kramer.
Oh, there you go.
I'm thinking John O'Brien.
Big names.
I'm thinking Derek down there in Miami.
People that have proven themselves in promotion.
Right. I'm thinking Steve Morris.
Have relationships. You need, what's good for to be in promotions? You need relationships with companies that are as diverse as car companies to record companies.
I'm thinking
and everything in between.
I'm thinking Mark Cronin. Oh, wait, now I've gone too far. Little joke for Rochester. Go ahead, Anthony.
You're evil. And so Gary says, "I got this guy. He's the best. You need 3 BMWs tomorrow. Here's your guy. Here's your guy." Well, this is great. Part of the plan. Coming together. He brings in a guy who's never done radio promotions. I believe he was a cell phone salesman. Was he a cell phone salesman?
Yes. Yes.
Roger, his name was.
You guys all laugh. We still don't have a marketing guy.
We still don't. His name was Roger, who later became known as Pop-Tart Roger. We called him Pop-Tart Roger. Now, why did this happen? His first promotion idea that he had for this program. He came in so excited that he set something up. Here it is for the Opie and Anthony show. "Guys, I have a promotion for your show."
This is exactly how he talks.
Like, all right, Roger, this is great. He's working. "At Madison Square Garden, they are bringing to New York the world's largest Pop-Tart. Kellogg's has gotten people together to make the world's largest Pop-Tart, and I believe I can get a booth set up for you to broadcast next to the world's giant Pop-Tart." I look over at Opie. I look over at Opie. A trickle of blood where he's biting his lip is coming down as his head is turning red. He's like fuming. I just start laughing. I couldn't even hold it.
And it wasn't even the world's largest Pop-Tart, because it was many Pop-Tarts that made a world's largest Pop-Tart.
Which made it even dumber.
Right.
It's not even one big fruit-filled Pop-Tart. It's a bunch of Pop-Tarts
just put together to make it look like it's the world's largest Pop-Tart.
That's a faux giant pastry.
Matter of fact, if you look up the world's largest Pop-Tart in the Guinness Book of World Records, I don't think you'll find
it. Probably ain't in there, because it's a bunch of Pop-Tarts. He's going to set up a booth. So I start laughing, looking at him, thinking, no, he's joking, and he's going to tell us what the real promotion is. Like, I went, Pop-Tart, okay. What? The world's giant Pop-Tart, the largest Pop-Tart in the world. You will be broadcasting from it. So we came on the air and just ripped him apart. That was the last promotional idea he came up with for his tenure here, which didn't last that long either.
Why would he
lasted long enough to pilfer the prize closet, I believe.
Don't forget about the window clings.
Yeah. Now
the 20,000 window clings.
So finally Wow starts taking off with our show, and it's a big part of the Opie and Anthony show, especially in the summer. Whip 'em out Wednesday.
Whip 'em out Wednesday. You put Wow in the back of your rides, and ladies, if you see Wow as you're going down the highway, you flash if you feel like it.
So it was a big involved thing on what was going to be the Wow logo, the colors, the size of the sticker. We were in meetings every day about these effing Wow stickers. What color should they be? What font?
I still have the artwork.
Yeah.
We had hundreds of fonts to choose from.
So they'd line them up on file cabinets. We'd walk about 50 paces down the hall to see what it would look like on a bumper from far away. This is this crazy-ass crap that went on at this place.
This took days. Days to decide. A decision that should have taken 5 minutes tops.
So the font we picked was just a basic font. It was nothing like the one that Opie's brother came up with that we're used now that is familiar as the WOW logo. So we picked, but the colors were similar in color because it stands out.
It had to be a gold and black.
Yeah,
because if you know anything about advertising, gold and black are the best colors to use to make your logo stand out. Oh yeah, it's a known fact. So look around, you'll see a lot of black and gold stuff.
It gets sent out to the printers. Now we're all excited. We're going to finally get some kind of promotional tool. We had a promotional tool, Roger. We were going to get a promotional device for this show, the WOW stickers, right? They come back, all these boxes. Boxes upon boxes. We're like, oh my God, finally a commitment to this show. They're spending some money getting stickers. We cracked the box. I swear to God, it was like we were a band getting our first record deal. We're opening up the boxes of our first CDs.
I felt like I was part of like the cartel, and you're opening up the box and you're just seeing pure white cocaine.
White coke. I was just, and what do we have? Baby laxative. It was awful. What we opened it up, there weren't bumper stickers. They were window clings. Now, a couple of problems here.
We never said we wanted.
We never wanted window clings.
We wanted bumper stickers.
A few extra window clings would have been fine, but bumper stickers serve two purposes. They go on bumpers, and they go everywhere else.
Everywhere.
You don't just stick the WOW sticker on bumper stickers. I've seen them on signs. You see them on the sides of trucks. You see them everywhere. Window clings go on windows for people that don't want to put stickers on their cars. The color, completely different than the one we picked because it doesn't translate to a cling. It's like a color form that you put on your window. Now it's limited to only vehicles with back windows that aren't tinted, which I think is 8 vehicles in total. So we just lose our effing mind.
Forgot about the colors.
The colors were all washed out.
Yeah,
it was now orange and...
It wasn't even orange.
I don't know what it was.
It was like a lemon.
Bad.
A lemon yellow.
Couldn't see it. They're collector's items now, though, and we have a few. We should give them away.
We see one every once in a while in a car. We laugh to ourselves uncontrollably.
So we'd always turn to Roger and go, "It's a window cling, you inept tool." So he
went on to open up a audio bookstore.
Audio books.
That went out of business.
It went out of business
because he didn't have any audio books.
You got to remember that also he hired those things to put the clinks in.
Oh, this is ridiculous!
Like 10,000 of these things.
He ordered 10,000 plastic sticker holders. Now, you ever go into a store? Let's say you go in a diner, and on top of the cigarette machine, there's all the applications for various credit cards, and they're in those plastic holders that hold literature. He ordered 10,000 of these to go in various locations around the city, on desks maybe at 7-Eleven. And your window clings will be in these 10,000 plastic things.
It was a complete waste of money.
Unbelievable. You could have built a greenhouse.
Radio stations do not like wasting money.
No.
Ever.
No.
I remember asking about the clings. He's like, dude, for dudes like me, a cling is more fashionable for my BMW.
My Beamer. I don't want to put a sticker on my car, so I put a cling in the back window.
Yeah, Roger, all our audience is driving Beamers.
So now you got vans, you got box trucks, you got tractor trailers that will never see a WOW on them because you can't put a cling on a truck. This is what we were dealing with. And he was handpicked by Gary Wall.
Did you talk about the satellite dish and
we finally get good prizes
and the pilferaging?
Yeah, we finally get now. We were scratching and clawing for any promotion on this show. So we finally get these prizes. We're giving away satellite dishes for satellite TV. We're like, great, it's a good prize. Any prize I would want to have myself, I think is a great one. It's electronics. I love it. People want TV. This was great. We're going to have a giveaway. I never even saw one of these things in the prize closet. They ran out of that closet so fast. I bet you look on Gary Wall's roof, you'll see one. And, hello, he actually got one of the employees here to carry it out to his car. He got Eddie, right? I'll carry it out with the garbage.
Live a lie, live a lie.
He grabbed it, carried it out to his car. where, we could have used this to bring in some listeners, to then show them what we're all about. It's a great way to hook people in.
Isn't it true that most of the gold records went the same way, and the lithographs?
Legendary rock station. There were gold records hanging all over from bands.
We got to make
60s,
it clear
70s.
again. Here in New York, the station we broadcast from had everybody on. The archives that they still have, because they were able to lock those doors, and I don't think anyone has the key for.
Right.
But I mean, we had Led Zeppelin lithographs where the whole band signed.
Wow.
The Ozzy stuff, Ozzy Gold records signed by like Randy Rhoads even. I mean, just the most obscure rock and roll memorabilia. There's not one left.
No. Just taken. Just taken. Like
a Nirvana Gold record signed by Kurt and the rest of the band.
Gone.
You can't get that anymore, obviously. Everything's gone.
Everything was pilfered. This place was like a Watts liquor store during the riots. Gone. And then, of course, Beer Thursday.
No. The promotion. One other major brilliant idea, the Super Bowl promotion.
Holy Jesus.
That one. I couldn't believe that one.
If those guys are listening, the party we had to go to, please call us.
Guys,
we were just talking about this the other day.
Here is a Super Bowl promotion. You two are going to pick a winner that will win a big screen TV and Opie and Anthony as their guests to the Super Bowl.
Don't forget the free soda.
At their house.
Don't forget the free soda pop.
Free soda and a 6-foot hero.
Yeah, because they thought, it's not a good idea to bring, beer to a Super Bowl party.
Now let's see how long we had been here. July, August, September, October,
5 months,
November.
6 months, whatever.
5 months or so. Yeah, 6 months maybe. No one knew us from a hole in the wall. We had just started getting a buzz.
Which is strike one for any promotion.
Yeah. We had just started getting a buzz, but no one knew us from a hole in the wall. You did not know who Opie and Anthony
drove out to Medford, Long Island.
The people win.
Was it
They
Medford?
win a big screen TV that will be delivered by your favorite delivery men, Opie and Anthony, and a 6-foot hero and soda that we then carted into the house.
Jim,
now we're sitting.
I've been doing radio almost half my life now, okay? This is not a good promotion.
No.
When you do send your jocks out or your radio station out, you want to reach a lot of people. Now, if it was like, go to a Super Bowl party with Opie and Anthony at a place that holds a S-load, an S-load of people, good promotion, right? You're in front of 2,000 or 3,000 people, the game's on, you're giving stuff away during the commercials.
It's a bar.
That makes sense. To show up at someone's house in the middle of nowhere for 20 people, that's kind of a stupid idea.
Here it is. Here's a way you can find out how much fun it is and how well it works. It's easy. On Super Bowl Sunday this year, walk out of your house. Go to a neighborhood you're not familiar with, right? Now, look in the windows, see where a Super Bowl party's going on. Knock on the door. Walk in. Have fun. There you go. Try it yourself. Try hanging with people you don't know from a hole in the wall who don't know you from a hole in the wall.
Who don't know you, and you're there, and you figure, you're not going to be a dick about it, and you hang. And
it's a house. It's not a bar,
We walked around the Super Bowl party the whole time with people going, who are you?
Yeah, so who are you guys?
Oh, we
brought the TV.
We're Opie and Anthony, and
who?
We're on.
What? Who? What?
Yeah, they didn't know.
I had beer in hand whole time. I was by the cooler in the
Someone
backyard.
out there has a video of us because one guy was excited that we were there, so he set up
the guy that won.
Yeah, he set up video cameras in the corner and just taped us watching the game for 4 straight hours.
Watching TV.
So there's Ant on one corner of the couch, me on the other, no one talking to us, arms folded, beer at our side, watching the game.
And can I interject, having you two show up as a prize stinks.
Right, yes, thank you.
Didn't they have colon polyps to give away?
I don't know. I think our prize was the second worst. Because the worst was the same day Mason and Kalinsky had to go somewhere else. That could possibly be the worst prize.
Yeah, because
I had to go to Earl and I had to go to both of them, and they were so far away that by the time we left the house way in Jersey with Mason and Kalinsky to get to see you guys, the game was over. I was so pissed off.
Super Bowl promotion.
And Gary wondered. He's like, "Well, why didn't you make it there on time?" Listen, Dick, if you had accumulated the time on it, it wasn't going to make any sense. But not according to him.
Oh my God!
Have Opie and Anthony show up at your bris.
No one cared, and I tried to tell them, and no, this is a great idea. Okay, all right, you know best.
We knew Gary was completely losing touch when he went to Beer Thursday.
Free beer.
Beer Thursday. We have a meeting. He noticed. See, Gary noticed that ideas got spread around better when people would drink beer. You're at a bar, you're hanging out, you're drinking a few beers, you might come up with some ideas you normally wouldn't in a more fun way. So he thought every Thursday here at a radio station, a workplace, he'd have free beer Thursday. A huge tub full of ice and beer was brought into the office.
Hey, look, we're not complaining. Trust me.
Yeah.
I like a free beer like anyone, but the problem was that there were major things that needed to be taken care of at this station, and one of them wasn't making sure
everyone was drinking
during the day.
Right.
And everyone would get hammered.
It only lasted
and it
one Thursday.
And the creativity wouldn't come out. Animosity came out.
Oh,
Anger came out.
Oh, yeah. Fist fights almost.
It was ridiculous because it was people. He was like, hey, it's going to be great. We'll all drink. We'll trade ideas. It'll be fun. No, we all drank and realized what an a-hole this guy was and how little he knew about what to do here and just started screaming. So that lasted 1 week until I think a memo came down from Infinity Broadcasting.
Yeah, way up
and
top.
said, are you kidding me?
From the man himself.
I don't even think it was stop. I think it was something like, obviously this is a joke because no one would really do this, but if there's any idea to really do something like this, don't do it.
Who was the one responsible for getting the beer for Free Beer Thursday?
Or they sent Earl and I out with the van. Go get a ton of beer. And it was, you couldn't just go to a deli, so you had to go all the way to some grocery store and buy all this beer. And the other thing was
Free Beer Thursday.
I know a lot of people are sitting there going, well, that sounds really cool. Yes, it does, but we needed to take care of some serious issues around.
It started at 4 o'clock. People were bombed by 4:30. There were people around here that probably hadn't drank in about 10 years that were just hammered, walking around. And Gary's like, this is great. You know, him and Roger thought it was a brilliant promotion.
Yeah.
Till the next day.
So when he finally went, we got the management that's in there now, thank God. And the rest is history.
Yeah,
there you go. It's in a book now, though. There you go.
Some of the stuff. He left out a lot of great stuff.
Yeah, he left out some good fun stuff. I guess he didn't want to touch on NEW after he left, which is why he didn't really get into the whole thing about us, but whatever.
I don't want to be hoo, but we really need to write a book because we got some stories to tell, my friend. Anyway. All right, let's move on.
Sure.
You know what Rick is finding right now?
What?
The on-air fight we had.
Oh, with Carol.
With Carol, one of the legendary rock jocks at this station.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth a listen. He's trying to find it, and he's getting some excerpts from that. And we'll move on to other things finally.
Robin.